welcome on the show once again. This is episode number 109 with Rashida Ansari, who will be speaking on chaos to calm, unlock your potential. So, yes, audience, do like this session, do share this session, do participate, be active. You can ask your questions. We will be happy to cover them during the session. So, yes, welcome again on this Expert Talk live show. And purpose of this expert talk show is to bring in industry experts who will join us on live show to share their experience with all of us to help us with career insights and live Q&A. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel Vipul the Wonderful to get more updates on regular live events. Tonight we are privileged to have with us Rasida Ansari, our guest speaker of the day. So let us invite our expert of the day.
So, one and
Yeah, hi, good evening.
I will
Yeah, good evening. Welcome on this show. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation and joining us on this evening for this amazing session. Topic is really amazing and insightful, and I'm sure audience will get a lot of insights from today's session. Yes, Suhail Ansari, thank you for joining in. Yes, Manish, Preeti, world traveler, thank you everyone for joining us on this session and showing us your presence. Do participate, do share your comment, do share your feedback. Yes, Vishal, Yasleen, Haider, thank you so much. So do participate, do show your presence, participate, ask questions. We'll be happy to cover them during the session. Uh, and uh, so do check Rashida's profile, LinkedIn profile. Follow her or DM her if you have any questions after this session. Uh, so Rashida Ansari wears many hats: a mom, a loving wife, a driven entrepreneur, a dutiful daughter, and even a young grandma. Her journey began as an engineer, transitioned into inner engineering, taking a path of self transformation as a coach. She spent 16 years in academia and 13 in soft skill training. Then life led her to the UAE, where she delved into the industry, learning a diploma in uh, behavioral science and experienced in uh, epiphany. Discovering the power of rewriting minds, she immersed herself in NLP and deep dives into thoughts and emotions and uh, evolving into an emotional well-being relations and relationship coach. Balancing these roles, she acquired valuable life skills, managed to reverse the aging clock somewhat, and emerged as a healthier version of herself. Now passionate about helping people with their careers and relationships, she empowers them to build authority and live fulfilled lives. Throughout tonight's live session, we invite you to immerse yourself in the conversation, to ask questions, share insight, embark on this transformative journey with us. Let's challenge our perception, confront our fears, emerge stronger, wiser, and more empowered than ever before. So, without further delay, I invite you to join me in welcoming Rasida Ansari to this virtual stage. Let us unlock our potential together and embark on a journey that promises to redefine our lives. Thank you, and let's start the session. Welcome once again, Rashida. Please tell us more about you and your journey before we start the session with the Q&A.
thank you, Vipul. Thank you for the wonderful introduction.
My pleasure.
I would like to start with a quote from Sun Tzu, the Chinese philosopher. It says, in the midst of chaos, there is also opportunity. So, with this insight, I would like to share my journey. A few years ago, my life was a whirlwind. I was juggling between different roles, my work life, my personal life, and family, personal goals. All this created a lot of overwhelm and chaos. And I juggled between this in different manners. Suddenly, on a hectic day like any other, I stumbled upon a simple practice, and that changed everything for me. Today, I'd like to share that journey with
Please, please go on.
you. Shall we start with the questions? Along with the questions,
Yes, yes, definitely,
I will.
definitely. Yes, audience, you can also ask your question. Thank you, Riaz, Suhail, for joining us and showing your presence. We welcome you and let us start the session with the very first question. Why are workplace relationships sometimes tricky to handle?
Workplace. It is something like a sitcom. There are people of different shapes and sizes. There are different personalities, different work styles. And of course, there is that office drama. And you are like that director trying to put everything together in the sitcom. Probably you want to arrange a dance without any rehearsal. So that is the kind of situation. What you need here is to be able to understand your colleagues. An important thing is having empathy and an insight into the individual's values and beliefs to a certain extent. Also, a non judgmental attitude. You take a combination of all this, keep an open mindset. Most tricky situations can be handled. I'd like to give you an example. At the beginning of my corporate career, I remember there was a huge number of staff that I was introduced to. And there was one Roy Mukherjee, and another was Pranab Sinha. And at the end of that long list, I mixed up the names and I said Roy Sinha and Pranab Mukherjee. And suddenly, looking at everyone's expression, I realized that I had made a mistake. And then I just broke out into a laughter and I said, "Oh, that's my name salad." And that became a joke. Whenever anybody got mixed names, in most tricky situations, you bring in a little humor that generally helps.
True, true. That's really true. That's I think there is a terminology in English for this mistake. It's called spoonerism. You're mixing the name or altering, changing the names of a person. I often end up doing that thing. My team is now habitual of this. I used to swap the name, so they are now habitual of it. So that happens many a times. True, true, true. That's amazing. Great. So moving on to the next question. Why do I sometimes doubt myself or feel afraid? That's a question for many. We end up feeling doubt, or we are in a dilemma what to do, what not to do, or we are afraid. Fear of failure, we can say. So how to overcome this situation?
So, Vipul and my dear audience, I too suffer from this. We all do, in fact. There is always some element of self doubt or an element of fear. As long as you don't let that self doubt and fear stop you from taking action. Actually, the self doubt and fear acts as a positive trigger because it keeps you on your toes and you are more mindful of your thoughts and your behavior. The problem comes when this fear or self doubt it takes such a big stand in your life that you freeze and you're unable to act. So, to give you an example, supposing you are planning a pajama party with your friends over the weekend, all the friends are together, you are having a very good time, and suddenly the doorbell rings, and at the door is your father's close friend. Now you are in a dilemma, cannot shoo him away, and you have all your friends around and musty. So what do? Who is you politely invite your father's friend, ask uncle to sit down, offer him a cup of chai. All the friends together, you can do some small talk, and in some time, tell uncle bye bye, we'll see you again, and I will let papa know you were here. And with some polite trivialities, see him out, and then you continue with your party. So, what happens here is you treat the fear and the self doubt as an unwanted or unexpected guest. Welcome, ask the fear, what is it that you want to convey to me? What is it that you want? How do I address you? And treat it nicely and ask it to leave. Take the first step. The first step is the most crucial thing. The more you delay it, the more the self doubt and the fear will gather momentum, and then you will find it difficult. Let me give you another example. How many of you have actually sat on a roller coaster ride? What about you, Vipul?
Yeah, many a times, that is in journey of life, you get to face mess this kind of situations many a times.
Yes, I wasn't talking here about the proverbial roller coaster, the real roller coaster. We go in that mela and there is that roller coaster.
Oh,
Looking at
I
it,
am
doing
I
the
am I am afraid of it. I don't go for it, but my kids and my wife enjoy it, but I don't go for it because
so
I
I
really
will give you a tip here, Vipul. Uh, I know whenever you go there, there are all butterflies in your stomach. Whether you sit on the
true.
roller coaster or not, we all go through that few moments of self doubt, fear, anxiety. What if the safety system fails? What if this? But let me tell you this. Quite often, if we let our fear dominate, we miss out on opportunities. Have you ever regretted not sitting on the roller coaster with the family?
Yeah, I feel that at the end of the day, when everyone comes with a full of uh, that experience of anxiety and excitement and all this. So I
Yeah.
feel that, yeah, I
So
missed it. Yeah,
next time you are out, do that. Just go with your family. You can actually hold on to the safety rail and you can shut your eyes, but go through the experience. Once you've done it, then you enjoy the thrill, and the thrill takes charge of the self doubt. So these are
true.
some ways of.
Yeah, I'll make sure I'll definitely go next time for a roller coaster ride, and I'll definitely do it. Yeah, you need some thrills in life to revive yourself. To
Absolutely. Because it's always better to take the plunge than, deal with the regret. That regret lasts with you for a lifetime. But if you
true
deal
that.
with the fear, it is a very short moment that you have to face.
Very true, very true. Great, great. Yes, audience, I'm sure you are enjoying the session. So do participate. You can ask your question. You can add your views. We'll be happy to have them. And do like and share the session. Do check Rashida's profile on LinkedIn. Do check my profile. Follow us to get the regular updates. We'll be happy to have your queries and questions afterwards. So moving on to the next question. This is a very common question for many working professionals. Work culture, this environment of multitasking and monthly and weekly and quarterly and yearly targets. There is an anxiety is a day in day out matter. So how we can handle that anxiety at work, peer pressure, performance pressure, appraisal pressure. Now this is a March time, so everyone would be feeling the heat of appraisals. Every most of us have would have filled up the appraisal forms as well. So how to handle this anxiety.
I understand, Vipul. We all go through anxiety. One of the powerful techniques of handling anxiety, or in fact, not getting anxious, is following breathing techniques. If you do it, especially those who are regular in deep breathing exercises, they will find that they rarely get anxious. or even if they do get anxious, the intensity is less, the duration in which the anxiety lasts is also less. Let me share with you a couple of simple breathing techniques. One of them is called as the left nostril breathing. Especially if you are anxious about something and you cannot sleep at night, you check this out. When you do this, you will find that you get much sound sleep. How do you do it? Is you close your right nostril and you inhale deeply. One other thing that is important about breathing is most of us are used to very shallow breathing. That means we breathe from our chest. What we have to learn, deep breathing, is abdominal breathing. That means when you inhale the air, let the oxygen reach up to your belly. Your belly should float like a balloon. And when you exhale, throw out all the carbon dioxide through your nose and let your belly button touch your spine. So once you focus on this, you can actually keep your hand on your stomach and feel it rise and fall till you learn the technique. Once you do this for a few deep breaths, you take whenever you are anxious, maybe office, home, on the road, absolutely anywhere, you will find that this deep breathing immediately helps calm yourself. And the left nostril breathing, it activates the parasympathetic nervous, and that you do it by closing your right nostril. Again, deep breathing, inhale and exhale only through the left nostril. So do it continuously 10 to 15 times and you will feel, get that? So this is the first step to handling anxiety.
We are
Second step,
losing your voice. We are losing your voice. Sometimes your voice is breaking. Yeah.
is it?
Yeah. Now. Yeah. Please go ahead.
Is it clear now? Okay.
Yeah. Is it
So
clear? Yeah.
have you got the two breathing techniques that I shared?
So one is you have said by the left nose 10 times,
Correct.
breathing from the left
Yeah.
nostril. Then second
Inhale
one I
and
missed it.
exhale. Yeah. Inhale and exhale through the left nostril. That is one, which activates your parasympathetic nervous system. It reduces your anxiety and gives you good quality sleep. And the second breathing technique, can you hear my voice?
Yes. Very much.
Great. So the other is deep breathing technique, whereby what you do is you breathe from the abdomen and not from the chest. We generally tend to breathe from our chest. Thereby, we do not utilize the lung capacity fully. If you learn the habit of abdominal breathing, that means you can actually place your palm on your stomach. As you inhale, you feel your stomach blow out like a balloon. And when you exhale, that is again through your nose, you feel that your hand goes in and the belly button touches your spine. If you do this 10, 15 times, you will find that you feel much calmer and you are able to take charge of the situation. You know how it is, like as if you are in a garden and there are some weeds. If you go into the garden and keep looking at the weeds and keep complaining that why do weeds grow in my garden? Why do weeds? As a result, what will happen? You will miss out on the beauty of the rest of the garden. The flowers will get neglected. The best thing is take charge, take a lawn mower, remove the weeds, and then you are left with your beautiful garden without the weeds. Same way, when anxiety strikes, first is to calm your nerves through the breathing technique, and then you take charge. Another way in which to handle anxiety, especially work related, when there are so many tasks to do and you don't know where to start, a good way would be to make a list of all the items that you have. When you have it in your head, it is all a khichdi which keeps, muddling and you don't get clear inside. But the moment you put it on paper, it becomes crystal clear. Then there is a saying called eat the frog. That means the most difficult task on your list, you attack that first. Generally, what we tend to do is we keep it towards the end. As a result, it never gets done and the anxiety remains with you. When you attack it first, what happens is there is a possibility you may be able to take one or two steps and you get stuck. It doesn't matter. You can go to your boss, you can go to your colleagues for help, you can take books, any sort of help that will let you move to the next step. And what you can do while you are reaching out for help and help comes to you, in the meantime, you complete all the simple tasks which are routine and which do not require much input. So that way, you at the end of the day, you have made progress in all the mundane tasks. You finished those, and the task that was most difficult, you have made some progress in. So if you do this as a practice, you will find, and especially if you make deep breathing as a habit, every time you can use your commute time for deep breathing. You can spend a little, few minutes every morning with yourself doing the deep breathing. You will find that your anxiety levels at work or when some tricky situation comes, they are much lower in intensity and you are able to handle.
I'm completely agree with you. I used to try this deep breathing technique many a times, and it gives a lot of relief. You get relieved by
Absolutely.
doing this exercise, so that works
Absolutely.
really well. Yeah. Thank you, Rajni, for showing your presence. Welcome on the show, Anand. Thank you. Anand is appreciating that roller coaster example is as awesome. And yeah, you will also try it next time, I'm sure, Anand. So, Anand is asking this question. I think we have covered this question. Yes, self doubt, how to overcome. So, yeah, Anand, uh, thank you for agreeing on that. And you can if you miss that question answer, then you can definitely revive this episode after the live is over. We have covered that question just before this one, so you can definitely check that. So yes, thank you, audience, for showing your presence and asking questions. Again, don't forget to check our profiles, follow us for regular updates. I used to do every weekend this kind of expert talk show. So you can check my profile. You can follow me on YouTube. My YouTube channel is Vipul the Wonderful. So you can subscribe my channel, press the bell icon to get the regular updates. And moving on to the next question, how can I make my relationships more resilient? This is the time of movies and OTTs and Bollywood and Hollywood and all this. So relationships are like has got a altogether different dynamics. So how to overcome
Absolutely.
that?
I agree with you, Vipul. We are in touch with everybody and we tend to miss out those who are around us. So that happens.
True, true,
So
true,
in
true, true.
this age, what we need to remember is relationships are like rubber bands. You can stretch the rubber band as long as it is within the limits of elasticity. The rubber band will come back to shape. And for your relationship to remain resilient, it is important that you keep your rubber band strong by using the magic glue of communication. So, relationships always have their ups and their downs. Some days, all days are never alike. Sometimes it's very good, the relationship is blossoming and you are very happy. There are days when there are difference of opinions, you have tips, you have disagreements. But remember that blood is thicker than water. And that is why to nurture your relationships, what you need to take care is the communication channels that should not be blocked. If you value the relationship and do not wish to sever the ties with the person, it is important that you keep your communication channels open. What happens? Let me share with you. Sometimes it happens that even very close relationships, they tend to go sour for certain misunderstandings or whatever the reason can be. There is a book by Gary Chapman on the 5 love languages. What Gary Chapman says is there are 5 ways in which you can express your love. depending on the other person's love language. And these 5 ways are either by positive statements, means words of positivity, or sometimes it is spending quality time with the person. Third, it could be giving gifts to the person. Fourth would be physical touch. And the fifth is small acts of service. So if you value that relationship and it has gone for a toss for some reason, check, identify what is the love language of the other person. If you are not sure, try one by one all of this and keep working towards it. Something will definitely work. And if you are consistent, you will find that the energy, it goes for a shift. The energy changes, and there will be a small window that will open up where you can make the entry and with a firm footing, handhold and bring the relationship back to its own. Here, what is important, Vipul, is that the person that you're involved with in the relationship or you want your relationship to understand that that person has his or her own set of beliefs, values, and perceptions. Generally, the misunderstandings happen because of certain difference in perceptions. And if there is no clarity with communication, then the relationship goes for a toss. So if you want to build the resilience, check out on one of these love languages and keep the communication channel open.
Yeah, that's spot on. Yeah, I do agree. That book is really amazing. And audience, if you are not aware of it, then I'll share the link of that book right after this session in the LinkedIn event and YouTube description, YouTube event as well. You can definitely check that book and you can buy it and you can definitely apply that book. That's amazing. And yeah, thank you, Sueli V, for the appreciation. Great advice. And Farzana is also appreciating uh, simple techniques to overcome stress rather than be overcome by it. Thank you, Rashida. Thank you. And Farzan is asking that any tips for getting mentally ready for a job interview apart from breathing technique, which you already mentioned.
The interview techniques has a lot of preparation that needs to be done. The first thing that you need to start with, the company that you are going to go to interview for, you need to research on that and have a background on what their needs are, what the mission and the vision of the company is, identify what your skill sets are, and do a mapping on how you can add value. Because one favorite question of the interview always is that why should I hire you? So if you have done this mapping, you will be able to express how hiring you will be a value add to the organization, and how when the organization grows, it aligns with your goals. So there will be personal growth and you will be more motivated to provide. So that is the
Yeah,
first thing that you need. Then there are quite a large number of tips which I think
true,
can
true. Yeah,
either direct DM,
true.
where personal grooming plays a very important role, confidence,
Yes.
ability to talk, look into the eyes of the person, and being polite in your demeanor,
Yeah. So
making
I
sure
think
that
yeah, it's altogether a different topic, Farzan.
absolutely
You can definitely
you can
check few
get in
sessions.
touch with
We
me.
Yeah, you can DM Rashida, or even you can check our channel. We already had few sessions on dedicatedly on the interview techniques, so you can check that sessions too. But yeah, you can also connect with Rashida for the same. She'll be happy to help you. So
Sure.
Anand is adding here that put in paper journal your thoughts is good habit. Yeah, journaling is really a good habit, Anand. We should definitely try
Absolutely.
it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Anjali is also appreciating nice explanation, nice session. Rashida madam, thank you, Anjali, for the appreciation.
My
So,
pleasure.
yeah, moving on to the next question. How do I deal with change and especially at work? It's been said that change is only constant, but when it really comes, in reality, then that it's difficult to adapt it. So how we can adapt the change?
So, like you said, Vipul, absolutely, change is the only thing that remains constant, or change is the only permanent thing in life. How we look at change is what we can change. Whenever the human psyche is so designed that our reptilian brain wants to keep us in a comfort zone, and that is why whenever change comes, there is a resistance which comes naturally to every human being. If you look at change, like imagine change is a train and you are on the train and you are the conductor in the train. So, as the conductor, you cannot stop the train from moving. The change will happen, the train has to go. As a conductor, what you can do is you can decide where the train will stop. So, supposing you're taking a journey from Pune to Mumbai, and at Karjat, you can ask the train to stop, enjoy the uh, patata vada that you get there, the pav vada. You go a little further, then you reach Lonavala. There is chikki there. You get down and you enjoy the chikki. What I'm trying to tell you here is whenever change strikes, take it as a journey, be positive about it, enjoy the little things that the change is offering to you. And when the entire journey is over, you will find that the destination that you reach is you are open with your mind because you have all the beautiful memories of the journey that you did. And change becomes easier to handle if you have the flexibility, you are willing to adapt, and you have the resilience to take on whatever, because there will be certain toughness. Like when you are on a journey, you cannot expect that there will be no sand, no dust, and the air will be completely purified. That will not happen. There will be some congestion, there will be pollution, odor. All these things are part of the journey. Learn to adapt. That's the best way to
Yeah.
handle it.
So it's been said that, plan for the best but expect the worst. So
Exactly.
you will enjoy the journey. So
Right.
that's true. That's true. Yeah. So thank you, Anand, for the appreciation. Thank you, Vipul sir and Rashida ma'am, for the lovely talk on this Women's Day. Yeah. So wishing everyone a happy International Women's Day, and it's also occasion of Mahashivratri. So greetings to everyone. Happy Mahashivratri and happy International Women's Day. Thank you, everyone. Uh, Yes, Anand, this session will be live forever. It will be there. Link will be there. You can check on YouTube. YouTube, my channel Vipul the Wonderful. This session will be there. Even it will be there on Rashida's LinkedIn profile and my LinkedIn profile forever. So you can check on our LinkedIn profiles as well as on YouTube. You will find this session forever, and you can share it with everyone. Yeah. So, moving on to the next question, it's been said that opportunity in the adversity. So, every adversity is an opportunity. So, how can I turn obstacles into opportunities?
Again, Vipul, here what I would say is it's how you look at the obstacle. See, if you stand right in front of the obstacle, it will appear as a big boulder or a wall, and you will not be able to. But if you take few steps behind, the obstacle in fact reduces in size. You are able to see it as part of the bigger picture, the right perspective, and quite often the obstacle becomes a stepping stone. So, you know, the first sight of an obstacle is bound to make you feel slightly overwhelmed. The best thing is to do is take a few steps behind, look at the obstacle in the whole picture, and then how do you tackle it? So, what comes to my mind is have you played? I think most of us have in the growing up years, and some still like it as a hobby puzzles. You get those pieces And as you grow, you start with 4 to 6 piece puzzle, and then you go up to thousands piece.
True.
I have always enjoyed this puzzle. So there is a sequence in which you handle the obstacle that is similar to the way you play a puzzle. What you do is you sort the pieces first, maybe based on the color, based on the size. Keep looking at the full picture, complete picture in front of you. That gives you a sense of direction on the sorting that you do. Once you've done that, then you look at the pieces. There will be certain pieces which have two side edges. So those will generally be the corner pieces. There will be other pieces which will have a single edge that would generally go on the side. You start with any one color or an object, collect the pieces of that and attack the puzzle. And the beauty in the puzzle is when you are doing it, there will be a point of frustration when nothing works and you just leave the puzzle, move on, do your other things, come back to it, and randomly drop a piece. And sometimes what happens, it just happens to be the right piece in the right place. So that is the beauty. Any obstacle that comes, give it a fresh perspective, and that could be the breaking point, and you get entry into solution of your.
Very well explained, so nicely explained, and Ishlin is agreeing to that. She's saying listening to the expert like Rashida is music to the ears. Great insights. Thank you, Ishlin, for joining us and appreciating, and that matters a lot to us. So, yeah, so moving on to the next question. uh, how can I balance my personal and professional life? There is a very thin line between personal and professional life nowadays, and that too in the hybrid work culture, work from home environment, especially post COVID, that has become very difficult to balance. So, what is your advice? What is your golden tips on that?
I will not call it my advice because this is borrowed advice which I had read many years ago, and it मैंने इस बात को गांठ बांध लिया है sort of. It has stuck with me and it helps me most of the time. Have you ever seen a magician juggle the balls? How does he start? He takes two balls, correct? And you see it
True.
being tossed in the air, and he's very comfortably. And while you're focusing on the movement of the balls, you don't even realize there is a third ball that has come, and now there is a rhythm in which they are moving. And it goes on the fourth ball, the fifth ball, and then there are about 7, 8 balls, and you don't know where to look. They're moving so fast. So that is exactly what happens when you juggle different roles that you have to play. What is important here that in all these balls that you are juggling, one of them is a glass ball. This glass ball, it changes from time to time, means in the same day, morning your glass ball can be different, afternoon it can be different. The glass ball is the one in which you keep your attention. You make sure the glass ball does not fall, because if it does, it will break. The other balls you may fall if you are not a expert in juggling. You can pick those up. What I mean by that, there are times when, supposing you are in office, there is an important tender to be submitted, there is a deadline. You have to forget your family, all your other commitments. You have a fallback arrangement at home. There is anything critical, somebody else to take care of. You give your 100% to that particular task, which is your class fall at that time. So at that time, you need to be in the office to make sure all the documents are in place and the tender goes out on time. There can be other days, other times when somebody very close to you is in the ICU. That class fall is your family. What you will do is you can have somebody in the office to take care of the emergencies that were there for the day, but you need to focus on family, give your entire attention. If you have that clarity in thought, you will not always feel anxious or guilty about when you're in office, you're thinking of home. When you're at home, you're thinking of office. That reduces your productivity, and it always keeps you in a state of, not being able to do justice and not happy. It's very important to remember this. So this has been very useful to me.
Yeah,
I
that
focus on what is my glass for.
that example is amazing. You are giving so good and so realistic and so generic examples. That roller coaster wala example, this magician ball example. This is amazing. So I must agree with you that you should prioritize what is more important for you and focus on that and leave the rest. You can't do everything at a time. So that is
So
really
I'd like to add a point here, Vipul. What is important for us to know is our limits. A magician can handle seven balls. Not each of us are equipped to. So you should know when to say no. So the art of learning to politely say no when you know your limits are being crossed is a very important and effective way, so that your sanity prevails and you are able to juggle comfortably.
true, true,
And the
very true.
other example,
Yeah,
the
please go
other
ahead.
thing in this line which I would like to add, which will make the solution a complete thing, is that you imagine anything as if you're sitting on a seesaw. So maybe your work is one side of the seesaw and your family is the other side. What you need to do is set boundaries. If you have too much of work and focus only on work, the seesaw will not go up and down comfortably. If you give too much time on your family, your work will suffer and you will have repercussions. So you should be able to set boundaries. That these are my timings, and there are some days it's not no longer that 8 to 5 or 9 to 6 job, where when I am at office I only focus on office. There may be 9 to 6 family demands priority. Sometimes you come home, you carry work from home because there is something urgent that needs to be done that very day. So it is for you to set the boundaries to be able to handle. If you do a combination of all this, then you will find that juggling between responsibilities is very small.
Very, very well said, very well answered. So, yeah, balancing between the task and focusing on one task at a time and then jumping on to another task. So, that's really great, well explained with the right example. So, great. So, audience, this is the last call. You can ask your question if you have any. We'll be happy to cover them. Thank you, Anand, once again for the acknowledgement. And yeah, moving on to the last question from my end, which is very important. Criticism, we get criticism at each and every stage. Some are positive, some are negative, some are intentional, some are unintentional. There are ways and means of it. But how do I handle criticism? How do I identify which are the positive or negative criticism, and how do I handle these criticisms in a constructive way?
See, there are two steps to handling criticism, Vipul, which I would like to say. First is you have a very good self image. That means learn to love yourself, see what are your strengths, always talk positively to yourself. So you know what are your strengths, understand and identify what are your weaknesses. So if you do a complete SWOT analysis of yourself and you have the clarity, what happens is this SWOT becomes like a shield around you. After that, if any criticism comes, it will come and it will rest on the shield. What you have to do is you have to look at it objectively. What happens is when does criticism backfire is when we take it personally. Criticism is generally a kind of feedback, and feedback is always for the process or for whatever activity that has been done. If it does not produce a desired result, then it comes as negative feedback or criticism. In fact, there is a very beautiful thing that I heard, that success and failure, both of these are only feedback. What does success mean? That you did a particular thing in a particular manner, it got the desired results, but it is not the end of the journey. Success is just a milestone, and this is positive criticism or positive feedback. Criticism per se is negative feedback where you need to check what is it that I did which did not allow me to get the desired result, or the other person's expectations are not met. So, how could I do it different? If you learn to look at criticism objectively, and that you will be able to do if you have a strong self esteem. If you are low on self esteem, you will tend to take everything personally, and then you will feel hurt. You will revel in the hurt, and then you will build a big mountain out of it, and you will go into a negative cycle of self talk and negative. That would be my suggestion. How to handle. Let me give
Very
you a
well.
beautiful example. A small
Yeah.
tip. You know, the GPS system, the Google Maps, it never criticizes you. The moment you take a wrong turn, it just reroutes. So just
True.
remember, criticism is nothing but you need to reroute. It never
Wow.
complains. Why did you miss that turn? It reroutes. A few more minutes to the journey and you will be good.
That's amazing. So this is an epic one. I can say that example is, it never says you are wrong. You hear the bip voice and the it gives you a new route. So that's amazing. You are giving the great examples. I must say I'll remember all of them for sure. So that's amazing. Well explained, and the session was really amazing, and got so many insights, and audience has also enjoyed it, I'm sure. So what will be your final words, your concluding notes, your final message to our audience?
So, what I would like to share here, what reminds me is that the idea of keeping this title, Chaos to Calm, is that the chaos is always outside. The calm has to be inside. And the most brilliant example that I can give you here is that of Mahatma Gandhi. If you think of the pre independence era, our country, there was total chaos. There was total overwhelm everywhere, every corner. It was the inner calm with which Mahatma Gandhi was able to direct the nation towards non-violent resistance. And that non-violent resistance ultimately led us to the. So this itself is a very huge example of how the inner calm can actually open the doors to transformative change, achieve whatever results that you desire. And I will like to end with another famous quote. It says that the storm, there will be chaos. You cannot stop the storm. So don't try. What you can do is focus on your inner self and build your calm. The storm shall pass.
Wow.
Thank you.
Great, great, great. Well said. The storm will pass. Focus on yourself. Be the you, and believe in yourself. That's amazing. You gave the right example of Mahatma Gandhi, who who is the example, who is the guiding light for every one of us, and not only for India, but it's all over the world. He's equally appraised for his uh, actions. He has lead us by the actions. So that's the great example to end the session with. Thank you so much. The session was amazing, and we got to know so many insights and so many examples from you. So thank you so much, Rashida ji. It was amazing, and we would like to see you again with some another interesting topic. Because I think you have so many other topics you can share us the insightful knowledge, and we would love to have you again and again on our expert talk show. So we wish you all the best. Have a uh, keep it up, keep guiding us, keep guiding every one of us, keep enlightening everyone's life the way you are doing it, and that's amazing. Keep it up. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vipul, and your entire team for giving me this opportunity. Lovely audience. Your
And
interactions have been very valuable. And please feel free to get in touch with me if you need further
yes,
insight. I will always be there.
yes, yes, audience, you can definitely get in touch with Rashida ji. I'll also ping her other social media coordinates, her email ID and mobile number and everything in the WhatsApp in the chat, and I'll also put that in the I've posted that in the current chat as well. I'll also post it in the YouTube description, so you can definitely get in touch with her, and she'll be happy to help you whenever required. So yeah, with that note, thank you so much once again, and looking forward to have you again on our expert talk show with some another different interesting topics. So till then, stay blessed, keep smiling. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Good night,
Yeah,
everyone.
thank you. Bye bye. Yeah. Yes, thank you, Anjali, for the appreciation. We love your appreciation, and thank you for being with us till the end. So, audience, hope you have enjoyed this session. This was our 109th Expert Talk live session. We will have it every weekend, so do join us, watch us. Uh, do join us, do follow us on LinkedIn. If you are watching it on YouTube, then subscribe our YouTube channel Vipul the Wonderful to get our regular updates. So we used to do audio and video events both, like today is in video event which is live on YouTube and LinkedIn together. Tomorrow we will have an audio session by 7 p.m. when Pradnya Patil will speak on how to handle the remote work culture. So do join us tomorrow 7 p.m. on LinkedIn live audio event and ask your questions and engage in the session, and stay with us, follow us, follow me, follow our experts like today's expert Rashida. You can check her profile on LinkedIn and you can follow her, you can DM her, and be with us. Thank you so much for showing us your appreciation, showing us your motivation, and being with us in this journey of 120 plus expert talk live shows till now. We are doing it since last 2 years, and your motivation, your appreciation, your encouragement is helping us to keep this so alive, and we want to go uh, as much as we can do. So be with us. Thank you so much, audience. Yes, uh, yeah, Samiraji, thank you for the appreciation. And yes, audience, this session was powered by Post Resume. We are providing recruitment services across India and Africa since 2007 for mid to senior level. So do connect with us if you are looking for any talent solutions or any career guidance. Visit our website shown here, postresume.co.in, and do connect with us. We'll be happy to help you. We'll be happy to guide you. And thank you once again, uh, Suhailji, for the appreciation, and see you tomorrow. Thank you so much. Stay blessed.